Welcome back, my fellow aggressive learners. In this episode, we shall be talking categorically about what? Animation, right? And then, of course, in the animation, we'll begin to talk about animation name, animation duration, time function, time function, delay, iteration count, and direction, of course, and all that, right? Good. Now, to clearly demonstrate that, we will be using two things, transition and animation. Now, somebody will say, why transition? Of course, there's a clear similarity between transition and animation. Now, for transition would definitely would normally have just two states between zero states between 0% and what? And 100%, which is the start state. We shall clearly demonstrate that in this tutorial. But with animation, you have several options: 0%, 25%. In fact, you have multiple states. So, but for a transition, you just have two states: the start, the finish. And but for this, you've got several states. For instance, several states between zero and what and 100. You've got several states. So we're going to demonstrate that. So transition animation gives you more options, all right, using what we call keyframe. So let's go ahead and demonstrate these two things so we get an understanding of what animation is. So now that we have this, we have transition. So let's do that of transition and then that of animation. So all of them, what is unique among them? Div. So I'm going to use the div. And sorry, and someone will say, let us start from beginning. Don't worry, I'm coming. My job is to make you juggle your memory, to grow your memory muscles, and I'll make sure I do that. Good. So let's go ahead, div, and then we do width. Let's give it say 400 pixel, and say height, say 100 pixel. That's all right. Yeah, I think 200 should be fine. Yeah. So and then maybe what else? What else do we need? Margin left and right, 40 pixel. So we have these guys at the center. Good. So now let's handle one of them. The first guy is transition. 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 What do we want? We want the background color, and the background color will give. I just want to use red. I don't want to stress myself. Okay, good. So, and then the next thing I want to define inside is what? Transition. We all did this a while ago. So now what else? Now I didn't show you something. Now instead of targeting width, targeting whatever, just you can actually target all the properties. You can target all properties, all right? So all properties, what is your time duration? Let's say I want it to happen in 3 seconds, and then I want it to be linear, right? I can just stop right here, all right? I can just stop right here. That's cool enough. I can stop right here. So, but however, I want something to happen on hover. I want on hover on this transition. I want something very specific to it to happen. So what do? I go ahead. I want to do transform, right? I want to do transform. And on transform, I want to do translate. And when I'm translating, I want to translate to the x axis. And then I want to translate, let's say 100 pixels. I think that should be fine enough. So when I hover my mouse around this guy now, close this. Sorry, why is my browser hanging? Sorry about that. So my system, my browser just frees itself. So that's it. So you can see this as soon as I hover on my stuff, it took about 4 seconds and it traveled on the linear path, all right, same speed and all that. Good. And then it's back to zero, right? This is the first state. When I hover, it assumes a new state. Wow, the end state, 100, right? Percent, and it gets back to its original state 0%. That is the two states we're talking about. And that is a whole lot different from animation. So let's go back and pick this animate guy and play with her and see what we get to get. Right? Good. So we do that and then we do this. And then for sorry please. For animate, let me give it a background of let me do purple. background of purple. Beautiful, beautiful. I don't intend to do a whole lot of it. Now, when you are doing animate, sorry, you can choose any class name you want. It must not be animate, all right? This must not be transition. It's just for the clarity of it, all right? Good. So you can choose to call this anything you want, all right? You can choose to call it anything you want, all right? So now I'm going to call the define what to call keyframe, and a keyframe will always go with an identifier. That means what is the name of that keyframe. So in my own case, I'm going to call it a moving box, all right, moving box. All right, so moving box, that is the name I will call it. So before we come back to this place, the only thing we have inside our animate is what is background. Now let's go ahead and define each of the keyframe. So I'm going to do 0%, 0%, and I'm going to copy this. I want I want 50%. You can do 25%. You can do all that. 75%. And the next one to down to do 100%. So I've chosen four keyframe. I've chosen four states precisely currently. So I can do as much state as I want. But remember, this is just two states. But I have done, I'm choosing up to four states here. So inside this state, I'm going to define what I want it to happen in each of these states, right? So I'm going to say in this state, I want my my box to translate. I want it to translate to what? To x-axis. Let me do 20 pixel, and then when I do 20 pixel, I think that's okay. And then don't worry, nothing would happen now. Nothing would happen now. And then I can give it. Then when it is 50%, I also want it to transform, translate x. I want it to translate to 100 pixel. And then, but however, now I want it to change to a color. I want it to change, I want the background color to change while it is translating. So I would know something that happened. Let me use green. Yeah, I don't think we have green already. Don't worry, nothing will happen because we are yet to call the animation. So I am going to go here. I want to do, sorry, I'm going to copy this because I don't want to waste time. I want this video as soon as possible. So here I can just do minus, let's say minus 100, right? I want it to translate to x in minus 100 or minus 150, yeah, minus 150, and I want the background to turn to something else. Let's say blue, yeah, let's say blue. Don't worry, nothing is going to happen for now. Then also want to say when it gets to 100, I want it to come back to 20x, right? Exactly the initial position. And when it come back to that place, it should not change any color, which means it is going to take the default color that it has when it started. So now that I've defined all the things I want them to happen in each of the keyframes, you can put more information inside there, more information. So I am going to come here and I'm going to do animate. Now the first thing you need is the animation name. What is our animation name? Our animation name is moving box. All right, make sure it is correct. Moving box, that is our animation name. So moving box. Now the animation, and the next thing you want is the animation duration. I want it to happen in to all happen in 4 seconds. All right, 4 seconds. Then the next thing you would want what is the animation, what animation let's do direction iteration count for now. I want it to happen how many times? Let's say 4 times, all right, or 3 times, all right. Yeah, there are so many things under animation, duration, time function, direction, but for now we're doing iteration and we're doing duration and we're doing, all right, good. So let's go ahead and test this out. So save, watch this. Remember we said, we said translates to 20 pixel. Let's refresh again. Translates to 20 pixel. When you get to 50%, turn green. Then when you get back to 75%, turn blue, and then what happened? Turn return back to the original color, right? Good. So, or we can even define a different color here just to show we are seeing what we're doing very well, right? Watch it out. Watch it out. First one, wow, walai, back to zero, like that. You can see. Now we can say the difference between this and you can see the difference between this and translate. We can define this to be happening for infinity. As long as this page is open, this thing will keep happening. It will keep happening. It will keep happening. Just imagine that you enter a page and a particular event is repeating itself without you clicking anything. It's just happening. So these are some of how you're able to achieve some of those animation. Of course, this can be used to create a whole lot of beautiful things and all that. And I bet you can add animation, direction. Go ahead and you can check. You can check W3 school, W3 school for animation. Yeah, just type. Okay, good. Let's just go straight and see if we're going to see something. Did we? Animation. Thank you. So you can search a whole lot of things here, try some things, and then you get to see what's going on, right? Good. So I wish you luck and then see you in the next tutorial. That's it for animation.